So joining us now to expand on these new tariffs and Wall Street reactions and really the effect on all of us is Dale Rogers, who's a professor of logistics and supply chain management at Arizona State. You've worked in this industry for years and years and years and taught it as well. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Nice to be with you again.
So let's talk about the supply chain because I don't think everybody totally understands that. So even products that are made here in the U.S., a lot of components will cross borders. You said not just once, but maybe several times.
Yeah, so like for instance, the Ford F-150, best-selling vehicle in the U.S., it's assembled in the United States, but components, like say stuff that goes into the transmission, crosses borders 7 times. 3 times in the U.S. before it finally comes back and goes into the truck. I would guess after these tariffs in a couple of weeks that Mexico and Canada, which is where the transmission kind of goes back and forth from, will probably put tariffs on us, and then it could actually be 7 times. So
you could be paying tariffs
multiple
each
times.
time it crosses.
And there's an amplification effect because every time, let's say you incur a 10% cost or a 20% cost, then you mark that up. You always mark it up for some profitability level on the value added you put into it. So whatever the cost is, instead of having a 8% profit at 10%, now it's 15%, 20%, and that 8% grows. So there's an amplification effect that actually grows.
Yeah, so the bottom line is when by the time it gets to us and we have to cut the check and make the payment every month, it's going to be more. Let's talk about something like Walmart. A lot of the clothes that you can buy in Walmart that are affordable to a lot of our viewers, they come from Asia, correct?
Almost no clothes anymore come from the U.S. Almost nothing. Almost everything I bet everything you got on has some link to overseas. There's just no way to bring it back. The other thing is that what we've done in the U.S. over the last 40 years is we moved the messy stuff that can be done by someone much cheaper outside the United States.
And we can't bring that
back?
Right.
And the big plants that might come back,
right,
if they do come back, they're going to be automated. The other thing is where are they going to go? I saw an auto worker in the Rose Garden yesterday saying he grew up in Michigan, and I did too. It looked like we were about the same age, and that he wanted to see some of those plants get turned back on in Michigan. Well, if those automobile plants come back, I mean, the locus of manufacturing, automobile manufacturing in the U.S. is a 100-mile radius around Chattanooga, Tennessee. Because of the right-to-work laws, it's not coming back to the Midwest. It's not coming back to Michigan or to the Northeast. They're just not.
So is it possible that this strategy ends up working?
No.
I know you don't like the strategy.
No, I don't.
It doesn't.
Think so.
There's no way.
I don't think there's any way. If it's just a negotiation and we're getting really late,
a starting point, like.
But even if it's a negotiation, it's already hurt us badly. You know, the Prime Minister of Canada said the last 80 years, U.S. has really led the world, and that we've really moved away from that leadership. And so this idea of independence and being by ourselves doesn't really make sense. You know, 1.5 billion people over the last 25 years have been lifted above the poverty line because of global supply chains. And for some reason, we think we need to undo that right now.
All right, Dale, thank you for coming in. Appreciate
Nice
you letting us tap your wisdom here a bit. Tram.